Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
An 8-year-old girl is still in the hospital today after being mauled by a neighbor's dog in Dilworth last night.
Family members tell us that the little girl was bitten at least 4 times in the face, arm, and back. They say the girl was swimming at a neighbor's house. When she tried to hug the dog goodbye, it attacked.
The dog is being quarantined for the next 10 days because it was not up to date on its rabies shots. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley talked with experts today who say it's important to teach your children dog etiquette.
He bit me because he was in pain, because he just didn't want to be, hugged at that time.
Natalie Gruco tells a story eerily similar to the one out of Dilworth.
I can speak from a personal example. My dog, a black lab, bit me in the face right here a few years ago because I wasn't paying attention to his body language.
Body language, she says, is the biggest thing to look at when approaching a dog. Saying to back off if the dog is crouched or kneeling, has their ears back and head lowered, or is wagging their tail.
Every dog has a right to their personal space. Each day is different, just like people have bad days. Maybe the dog had a stressful afternoon.
Gruco says you can never know a dog too well, and that parents need to teach their kids to not only ask if they can pet a dog, but if they can even approach it.
If they say no, that needs to be taught as well, that don't feel bad, don't cry, or, it's not a bad thing that the owner said, no, you can't pet my dog. It's just for the safety of everyone.
Gruco says to keep dog etiquette in mind, no matter if the breed is a pit bull or a chihuahua.
It can happen with any breed, and it's an unfair stigma that is placed on these breeds.
Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
The little girl's family says she is still recovering but should be discharged from the hospital tomorrow. Experts also want to remind you to keep up to date with rabies shots, saying your pet should receive one every 3 years.
We have new information surrounding the death of a bicyclist that collided with an SUV north of Fargo last night. A brief obituary on the website for West Funeral Home says that Kathy M. Hettenbach was the victim of that fatal crash. The 56-year-old died at the scene from injuries that she suffered along Cass County Road 20. The driver of the SUV was 31-year-old James Austin of Fargo. Authorities say that he was traveling east behind the bicycle before hitting it. The patrol is continuing to investigate the crash. We're also following a developing story as investigators are searching near Hitterdal, Minnesota for a missing person from Wahpeton, North Dakota.
The Clay County Sheriff's Office and the BCA have blocked off an area around 70th Avenue North. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz joins us live from the scene with the latest. Rose?
Yeah, Andrea, just beyond me is the road that's been blocked off by police, and beyond that a little bit is the farmstead where police have been searching for this missing person. We did some digging in to find out who the last living resident was there, and we found 39-year-old Jason Jensen, who has a pretty lengthy criminal record. You can see here including DUI, DWI, domestic assault, and abuse convictions. Earlier, we were told no arrests had been made, but that may have changed by now. And looking at the recent sheriff's bookings in Clay County, we can see a Jane Doe went in last night for sudden death and body found. And very early this morning, a John Doe was booked for a search warrant. The Clay County's Sheriff's Office had very little information for us, saying it's an ongoing investigation. But we know the missing person they're searching for is out of Wahpeton, North Dakota. Now, 2 county sheriff's offices, as well as the Wahpeton PD and the BCA, are all involved in the search. We're told more information will come in eventually, but we were not given a timeline as to when this information will come. But as for now, authorities are telling us there is no immediate danger to the public. Live in Hitterdal, Minnesota, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Rose. We'll continue to follow this story, so be sure to stick with Valley News Live for the very latest as it develops.
Not much to complain about in the weather on this first day of summer. I suspect that's going to continue into this evening, but let's find out from the expert just to be sure. Hutch?
Almost all of us will enjoy very quiet weather as we close out this first day of summer. We are seeing a couple of thunder showers in northwest Minnesota and Roseau County, and Also out in Marshall County, Minnesota. These are drifting to the south and west as we head into the evening. Very slow movers, so some locally heavy rain possible and a couple of lightning strikes, but nothing too significant from that. One just north of you in Mentor trying to take shape as well. Temperatures were in the upper 80s in the Northern Valley, where it remains warmest into the evening hours. Our planner shows temperatures for most of the evening beyond 9 o'clock in the 70s here in Fargo. And Grand Forks, I can't rule out a thunder shower nearby, but we should stay dry with temperatures slipping into the 60s. More on the outlook for the close of your work week and weekend ahead here in just a couple of moments.
All right, look forward to that. Thanks.
A 2-month-old girl is on life support tonight at Sanford Hospital in Fargo. Authorities were called last night to a home in Red Lake Falls because the baby was not breathing. The child was being cared for by a relative since the mother of the girl is being held at the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Shakopee, Minnesota. The Red Lake County Sheriff's Office and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are currently investigating the matter. No criminal charges have been filed and no arrests have been made at this time.
A motorcyclist was expected to be okay after being hit by a car. It happened this morning. It happened in North Fargo by the El Zagel Shrine Club. Police say the driver stopped at an intersection, didn't see the motorcycle, and started to drive forward, hitting the motorcycle. The driver of the vehicle was cited for failure to obey a stop sign.
No one was seriously hurt when a stolen car with 5 juveniles inside fled from Grand Forks police and then crashed. Authorities say the teens fled when an officer tried to stop the vehicle early this morning, and that vehicle eventually went off the road and rolled. The driver then tried to flee on foot but was caught. Charges are pending. The teens were taken to a hospital with what police say are minor injuries.
The child was hurt after a car struck her while she was riding her bike last night in Grand Forks. Police say 19-year-old Tori Wegge was driving north in the 4500 block of South 20th Street when she struck the child who was riding in the crosswalk. The girl's expected to be okay. Wegge was cited for failure to yield to a pedestrian.
North Dakota's Department of Human Services is the largest general fund allocation, about 30% of the budget. Today was their turn with Governor Burgum to talk about their budget going forward. DHS Director Chris Jones says 2 of his priorities are integrating mental health services and foster care. He adds shifting money into prevention will help them make only minor changes.
We don't anticipate that we are going to do any reductions in force, and we don't anticipate the level of funding that is available is going to be negatively impacted.
Budget proposals will be submitted to the governor starting in July, with a fully ready budget going before the legislature in December.
Later on Valley News Live at 6, no cooking involved, at least not on your part, where they're serving up burgers, brews, and barbecue.
Up next, a big decision by the U.S. Supreme Court regarding online sales, what it could mean to your wallet.